We've spoken a bit about a new group of weight loss drugs known as GLP1's or semaglutides on this newscast before. The benefits and drawbacks of the group of drugs commonly known as Ozempic, Mounjaro, and Wegovy. But exactly how they work on the body is worth a closer look. That's why we've called in Endocrinologist Dr. Jordanna Kapeluto. She specializes in the management of obesity and metabolic diseases at UBC. Doctor, first of all, what are the most common diseases you prescribe GLP1s for?
Yes, that's a really great question. So when we're thinking about diseases that these medications help, traditionally we think about diabetes and obesity itself. But there's emerging research that shows that independent of those conditions, it can be helpful for a common condition called fatty liver. And we're finding that there are benefits as well for patients who have kidney disease outside of diabetes.
And so how do these drugs exactly disrupt these metabolic diseases? What do they do actually on the body?
Yes, that's a great question. So what we understand about this class of medications is it actually is a synthetic or a lab-made form of a hormone that exists in our body. It's a hormone that's released in our gut after we've had a meal. And what this hormone does is it tells our stomach we are full so that we stop eating. It slows down the emptying of our stomach so we feel more satiated, more satisfied, and full. And then at the level of the brain, we know that it can dampen down cravings and it can dampen down, for some people, a desire to eat, or what patients commonly refer to as food noise.
What criteria do you look for in a patient before you prescribe a medication like this to them?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So first and foremost, obesity, diabetes, they're really complex conditions, and we lump them together under a single disease name, but certain characteristics of diabetes or obesity might make this class of medication better for a specific patient. So a patient with type 2 diabetes can really benefit from this medication if their blood sugars are too high on their baseline medications, or if they carry a bit of extra weight. Same in obesity. We defined obesity right now by a ratio of our height relative to our weight. But we know that patients who have a BMI or a body mass index above 27 and have another metabolic condition or another condition associated with carrying extra weight, or somebody with a BMI above 30 without an additional clinical indication or another medical condition could benefit from these medications.
Generally, how do your patients report feeling once they've taken them?
That's a really good question, because everybody's body is different. So some patients will take these medications and they'll find that it works really well for them. It helps them manage their condition. They have no side effects whatsoever, but I know there's a lot out there about some of the scarier or less desirable side effects that can come with these medications. So what's really important about this is that the medication is being prescribed by a doctor who's familiar with them, and that patients are followed up to see, is this medication benefiting them? Are they having any side effects that we think will be long-term and that would prevent them from being successful with the medication?
We published today on CBC, we know there is some new research showing that once a patient, under certain circumstances, goes off this drug, the weight can be gained back rather quickly or perhaps faster than they expect. What do you tell your patients about this? For example, is this a lifelong prescription they'd have to take?
So that's what's really, really important, is the counseling aspect of starting these medications. We have to think about metabolic diseases, metabolic syndrome, obesity, diabetes as chronic diseases. And traditionally, when it came to weight loss, there was this idea, or treatment, there's this idea of that I just have to correct what's going on and then I can stop my medications. And we know that that's not true. These medications don't cure or don't remove the underlying factors that cause people to have diabetes or cause them to gain weight. So these have to be considered long-term medications. And that British Medical Journal publication that you allude to is just supporting what we already know. I think what's important to realize is that these medications are not like antibiotics. If you take an antibiotic and you stop it, your infection is gone and you move on with your life. But if you take away these medications that are controlling the disease process, then once it's taken away, everything that was there before is just going to come back. And so there is a potential to either have your blood sugars go up or regain the weight that you've lost.
Dr. Jordanna Kapeluto, an endocrinologist specializing in metabolic diseases at UBC. We really appreciate your time and your expertise. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.